you said not much needs to change in VG.J's drafting, but what do they do then? What do they alter?
What was their first 2 banks? It was the Enigma and the...
Invoker.
Enigma and Invoker? Do you think that maybe the Wisp could be like something that they maybe look at, even though this one I don't think the Wisp was like so dominant, it's just something that they have so much comfort in?
I don't think it's a first phase pick in either case right now. Maybe it will develop into that for a team like Secret, but I think it was very deliberate that they saved it until the second phase, because in my opinion, Wisp needs some better conditions now than it did in the past in order to shine. They identified that this was the good type of game for it. I think in part because the offlaner for VG.J was an Omni Knight, who is not necessarily the best pick against Wisp in general. Doesn't really have any burst catch, any lockdown, any mobility, fairly slow. So is the Crystal Maiden. So honestly, I think, like I said before, VG.J just need to not overthink things. I don't think they need to adjust that much. It's something that I like to see in teams. It's like there's 2 ways of looking at it. Sometimes you're arrogant and you lost the game and you're just like, we don't need to change anything. And then you play the same strat again and lose again and you're like, okay, it was bad. Other times it's a quality to have that you look after the game, you're like, our strategy was good, we played bad, back to the roots, play again, we're going to do better next time, and not get completely blown away by one good performance from Secret. So you need to find the right balance. I think it's something historically a captain like PPD has been very good at. When I've been watching their series, that sometimes they would GG out really early in a bad game and just reset completely and start a new game. And that's the type of quality that I would like to see out of VG.J here. That maybe they have a completely different read on it. I think they just got outplayed personally.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier on actually it needed to be the perfect game from Secret.
Not necessarily perfect, but they needed to play very well.
Wasn't it? So
it was. They played a great game on this one.
VG.J has Mikasa as their coach, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
I think that might come into play here. If he can tell his players, if he can achieve what Synderen said, get his players to mentally reset, and just maybe adjust a few things in their game plan, their draft was good, honestly. I liked it. Maybe we were all wrong on the panel. We were probably all wrong on the analyst panel. That's what usually happens, right? But
it's the panel curse. Welcome to the panel curse.
This is where the coach has influence. In between games, when he can get his team to mentally reset and go into the next game looking more fresh, knowing what they want to do, that's when they're going to have success.
Well, like this, we've got a mix-up of bans this time around as well. Secret didn't like the fact that they had to play against the Crystal Maiden, so they're going to get rid of that, and they get rid of the Monkey as well. FY showed some pretty good form on that.
So the Invoker's left this time?
Yeah. And they've gone for a Warlock first pick.
And Invoker Warlock is actually a really good combo. What you want with Warlock is a hero that wins his lane. Because Warlock is very good at turnaround ganks on a strong hero mid and providing teamfight for that hero. He's really good with Shadow Fiend, he's really good with Invoker. You'll find that Warlock struggles a bit more with like Ember if they're going to lose lane because he can't help him mid at all.
It's interesting to see.
Yeah, they've kind of forced them to say, well, you either take the Invoker or you let us have it.
This they looks like they didn't even think that the Warlock was going to come out at all here, though. Look, they're taking over a minute and a half.
Yeah.
The thing about Warlock as a first pick and just as a hero in general is that it's very one-dimensional, in my opinion. If you think of a hero like Crystal Maiden, for example, it has the global presence of the aura and automatically puts pressures on lanes. It has a ganking ability. It has a teamfight ability. Warlock is very static. He doesn't have any ganking prowess at all. And if the game gets into split push, I feel like Warlock is one of the worst heroes in Dota. Like he does nothing against split push. He's completely useless because he can't play the skirmish type of game. So I think VG.J are taking some time and thinking here, okay, if we can at least force Warlock out of his comfort zone, we already get to play a better game. And I like this approach. It gives them the possibility of having catch through the Legion and the global silence to counter the Warlock's playstyle. So it's a good start.
I saw them also glance at, in between their game, I saw them glance at the IG game, and IG actually had first pick Legion in that game, so that could have been maybe an inspiration toward them a little bit too as well. I like the silencer as well for the, they stop the counter initiation from the Warlock.
The one thing that's sort of interesting with these teamfight heroes like Warlock is you think, when is this hero going to be the worst in the draft? And you sort of think, oh, it's going to be split push when I can't use my golem to fight. But when he's actually the worst is when you're a teamfight hero and you can't teamfight them.
Yeah.
So something like Silencer Legion can actually achieve that. If they get a pick off on the core hero with this global and duel, you might not get to take this teamfight that you're building up your Warlock for.
So we've got an LC and a Silencer to open up things. So quite a lot of Silencer at DAC actually.
More than we would have expected. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely one of the more surprising heroes.
Well, something Sin was mentioning is that he likes these heroes early in the draft that can go to multiple roles. Silencer is actually a great mid, carry, and support, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's pretty strong. That hero does insane amounts of damage with his pure damage glaze.
I think it's usually It's usually Freeze that plays the Legion, but I know they do have some versatility from it.
Yeah, it
note,
is Freeze.
Side note on that, by the way, is that in my opinion, Secret probably out of all Western teams is the team that favors Silencer the most. Puppy and Pilot, I have like a man crush for this hero. Yeah. So the fact that they're picking this into Secret shows... I'm a bit surprised that they would pick it, first of all, this early, but also against this team. If any team should know how to deal with Silencer, it should be Secret. But they still took a minute and a half. They were definitely caught off guard by this Silencer pick. I was wondering, after this Warlock pick, like you were saying, it's good with a hero like Shadow Fiend. The problem when you're playing against a hero, Legion and Axe are very special just because of the way Taunt works as a mechanic. So a Legion with Blade Mail can solo kill almost any core in the game. And I think Secret at this point are like, we need a save. We need some sort of counter to duel. And in this case, it's going to be the Snowball that they're trying to work around with. They're still global, though. It's not easy.
It's interesting. They're stealing each other's heroes away. Tusk is an FY hero. We've seen him play it. Saw him play at DAC as well.
Puppy hero, too.
And then Silencer, on the other hand, as Cinderin pointed out, has been a bit of a puppy favourite recently, as well as Pilot Dice. So they're stealing heroes away from each other at the moment.
Do you think this Tusk is a good pick?
It's early. It's very early.
I'm also against these heroes. I feel like Tusk is not good against Silencer. Just flat out not a good hero. If you're hit by Last Word, unless that got changed, if you're Last Word and you Snowball, you can't roll. You're actually silenced in your ball.
Really?
And at the same time, if you Snowball anyone in, like you can't really use Snowball aggressively because you're against Global Silence. You can get counterplayed very easily. If you pick it as a save against Duel, it's under the condition that Global isn't coming out at the same time because then you can't even Snowball. So I feel like this, maybe they want to itemize so he gets, they're hoping that he can get Greaves or Lotus.
Lotus, yeah. And
then that can be their save, but it's a save that costs 4k gold and you need to get there first. So it's a bit tricky, I think. Do you think it's a support Tusk or offlane?
That's what I was about to ask you. I was thinking maybe it could be an offlane.
It'd be very odd if it was offlane.
If you play it offlane, it will get the item that you want it for in this game. It kind of guarantees that he will farm a Lotus, at least. I've seen some players in EU lately. Obviously, this is just in public games, so we don't really see Tusk played that much in competitive in general. But it has been experimented with in offlane in publics, at least. So I don't know if Secret have been inspired by that. Maybe they're just keeping their options open. I mean, thinking they can.
It is a hero like that can go multiple roles in that
Yeah.
sense. Something I'm curious about actually is that we haven't seen Magnus at all. And VG.J tend to run Magnus with their Legion Commander mid. It's what makes their mid Legion Commander work. So I'm curious if we're going to see that hero. I mean, that hero went from first pick easily at DAC.
To nowhere.
He got
by the end of it.
30 mana nerf. It's gone.
Yeah.
So curious what's going to happen with that.
We're going to get an Earth Spirit out. I haven't seen one of those in the first game either, which is interesting. So, Earth Spirit is the third pick. It's also interesting that they decided they didn't like the Shadow Fiend. Wasn't the first phase ban, but has been wiped away.
Appropriate.
And they're going to leave the IO here, probably because like, with Secret showing this, they're thinking, okay, even if this is an offlane Tusk, these are not good heroes to play IO for.
Yeah.
Realistically. So.
So they go for the Centaur.
Back for the Centaur.
Oh, it is a classic combo. It's Snowball into Stomp.
Yeah, we've seen apparently mid one plays a lot of Centaur, so definitely go for it here. Offlane Tusk, mid Centaur.
How's mid Centaur versus Legion
Very
Commander?
quick 20-minute
Not
loss.
good.
Not so good. Because Centaur got the armor reduction previous at 7.03.
Is that what happened to
the
him?
base armor. Yeah,
Okay.
I looked it up before. I was trying to remember what it was. And then now Tranquil Boots don't give you armor as well.
The Lina.
So
Was Lina banned last game?
It was.
it was
Okay.
banned.
Yeah.
Second phase?
phase.
Second phase. All right. So it looks like it's just an offlane Legion Commander. We won't be seeing that Magnus with it.
And Freeze always looked a lot more comfortable on Lina when we saw him at DSC.
I think Freeze is a very good magical damage core player.
Yeah.
I think that's where he excels.
Right.
Before it was like magical damage plus Alchemist, but thank you, dear Lord Ice Frog. I will say something about Tusker though. That hero provides amazing teamfight utility, and the one thing he lacks is damage. So Warlock and Centaur are actually decently high damage heroes, especially early game. You have Fatal Bonds and you have Double Edge.
Ooh. Lycan gets picked up. So he got buffed previously as well. So he gets the new talent. His level 10 is 200 health.
Yeah.
And he gets higher crit on his
His
shapeshift.
crit is insane.
Yeah.
he does a lot of damage.
What do you think is the build? Because I've seen a lot of people been like trying, like I saw people doing Midas, didn't really like it. I saw people doing the Vlads, it was okay. And now I saw some people doing like this like Desolator builds and Echo Saber builds.
I like the Echo Desolator build.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was just, that was what I was thinking.
Like sometimes Armlet maybe, but I think the crit buff buffs Necrobuck a bit, but it's still, it feels bad to buy this item on a one position hero right now. It does not do that much damage, it feels like. Nerfed against towers, so he's not like the same pusher. Lycan is actually one of the best heroes in the game against Silencer. Generally how you counter Silencer is you need vision on him. If you can jump a Silencer team and he has to global defensively, that hero does not feel as strong as when they jump you and they pop the global. Because a defensive global is just, you're spending that entire time like running away or repositioning.
Well, they let it through and they've taken it.
Last pick Invoker.
Do you think, in my mind, Legion should be a pretty good hero against Lycan in all stages of the game, though? Like, both in the lane, the Wolves can't really do anything. If Lycan tries to take a man fight and go for it, I think the common build right now is that you max the second and third spell before Wolves, and you get them later to just scout. I feel like this is going to be a pretty good Legion game, to be honest. Just from a laning perspective, Secret's heroes aren't the best. Even Warlock's Shadow Word can be purged off by Press the Attack, so I think he has really great sustain here on the Legion Commander. And later on, Blink Blade Mail, if Lycan goes for a physical damage build, he kills himself.
Yeah. That's a really good point, because if Vici get a way to give this Lifesteal a head start, he's going to dominate his lane. That will open up the Vici supports to do anything they want. They rotate to the Legion's lane. Tuskar Warlock is low damage until the ultis come out.
Yeah.
And Lycan's, he's pretty bad in lane.
Lycan's weak.
Weak
just
in
flat
lane.
out weak.
He might be the
lane.
worst carry in lane.
Okay,
It's
let's,
really
let's get quick predictions for you then for game 2. Which way are you going?
Who do we want to win? Then we take the other ones.
You can't cheat the system.
Secret
I
got
feel like this one's
comfort.
closer.
Yeah, I like Secret got them comfort. I mean, they've got mid one Invoker.
All right,
Like,
Sinrin, prediction?
VG.J, let's go for the
Howie.
0-2 prediction.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Wrong twice.
Yeah. I'm
go
voting Secret. I actually favor VG.J's draft just a tiny bit, but I thought Secret played fantastic last game. VG.J looked a bit shaky.
Okay.
I'm going to go for Secret as well.
Secret as well?
Yep.
Hey, we can't all be wrong now.
That's true. That's a bonus
Go
of the expert analysis desk that got it completely and hopelessly wrong in game 1. Let's find out who gets it right in game 2 and whether Secret advance on with a 2-0 win in their opening match of the Kiev Major.
You know what? I'm just going to ask the best Oracle. Ben, who wins?
Me? What?
Yeah.
I don't even know who I thought was going to win last game.
Really?
It's hard, dude. Because just haven't seen too much from Secret. Like, Lycan, what?
Yeah, I'm still wondering too. Like after game number 1, do we say, hey, Team Secret in fantastic form? It's just one game so far out this entire series, and there were definitely a lot of hiccups in VG.J's like play style throughout the game.
You can't put too much in one game, especially because I think VG.J just didn't do anything all game.
Yeah,
It's one of those games like
It
we
felt
could have done a
odd.
lot more. It wasn't. I do not think it was a drafting issue for VG.J last game. Anyways, you go on for 1 minute while I.
you do your things. Well, everyone's at least able to have a quick look over towards Roshan. So ROTK on the Legion Commander, a hero which, like, I think every single analyst who's here at the event has been saying this is going to be the hero. And Sim was saying, like, up against Lycan should be really good. So is it really that difficult to Blink, Blade, Mail, and Duel to win? Like, is that the execution we now look to see out from RTK? Because it looks very, very straightforward.
It is not that straightforward. Warlock is really, really strong. Yeah, they do have the Silencer to combo with the duel, but you're using your big 2 teamfight ultimates to maybe secure 1 kill. Like, what do they have? Like, if they have a Solar Crest, I think it's really, really good versus sort of combination, especially good versus the Lifestealer. You have the Rock, you have Fatal Bonds. If you're dueling, you can't purge off the Fatal Bonds. It's pretty scary to actually duel here.
Paradise is being pushed back out again, and that's going to be pretty standard lane. So aggressive down the bottom, up against Kzeus, the Lifestealer versus Centaur. This Silencer plus Legion Commander dual off lane. Should be having some decent fun times, and we'll see just how well Pilot Eye is able to do on this Warlock. Normally one of the best heroes for harassing out the lanes. And then towards the mid, goodbye to Vision for mid 1, hello for Vision for VG.J, and a really nice lane for Freeze. Would be a little bit nicer if FY was able to connect with a rolling boulder. But as Fug was saying, we want to see him on magical damage style heroes, exactly like the Lina.
Mid one's block is a little bit better. Oh, Freeze actually going for the Light Strike Array level 1. This is actually pretty uncommon. You'll usually see a 2-0-1 build, just so you can... The thing about Light Strike Array is the radius is just way too small to actually win the lane. You want to get a CS and the harass with the Slave at once, but top lane just a little bit of harass going on. Mid lane a little bit too, but he already has a Salve, should be good. Didn't pop during Oof, all is good.
I'm still wondering how this top lane is meant to function for Team Secret. Like, they got sustain behind them, but Fenrir and RTK is just like the perfect frontline tank. Puppey wants to do the pull, but yeah, now he's going to realize it's blocked, so he'll be able to de-ward that Observer Ward out. So that's a small advantage for him.
It's still a minute and a half before he can really do anything in that pull situation, though. I guess he can consider pulling the sides, but the thing about pulling against LC is not that great.
Puppey actually has to boulder down that. Overwhelming odds, connecting on 3 heroes. RTK just runs away.
Fenrir is making them work for this lane, though. Lycan, he is... I would definitely agree with the panel that he is just not strong in lane. His wolves die super easily. Howl is like a really long cooldown, and he just doesn't really offer too much.
But what do you really do? Like, you're not going to push, like, MP just has to tough it out.
Wait till nighttime. Nighttime's a little bit better for him.
So they could always just send him jungle. You have one of the people who used to actually run that Puppey running Lycan jungle, but that was a very old time. Puppey's on the run. Orb of Venom's making life very difficult against FY. And Freeze is nearby, but not close enough to actually do damage.
It's pretty interesting that they put FY on the Earth Spirit and Fenrir on the Silencer, because usually it's, I would say, swapped, especially because you usually give a lot more farm to your Silencer this game. But I think because maybe they wanted to put him in the offlane and realize that he's not going to be able to pull, he's not going to be getting a lot of levels, he's not going to be farming a lot, that it's better to relegate him to the 5 and have maybe get like an early blink up on the Earth Spirit to cause some trouble.
Man, mid one needs some help right now. The kick comes through from FY, rolling boulder as well, and Freeze. The perfect line strike array, another advantage of having that early on. Yeah. If FY can connect, you know you've got the control.
And I think FY is also just much better on the roaming heroes. He's just better, way better at getting kills than FY, and FY I think is, or Fenrir is much better at like defending and stabilizing lanes. Ooh, early stick on mid one.
What have we here?
Usually you'll see like a raindrop, I think, if you're a little bit scared. You try and get away with Midas as fast as possible on Invoker, but sometimes when you're in a tough matchup like versus Lina, you have to go for some defensive items. But
even before he finishes his boost, he's just put Magic Wand in his quick buy.
Yeah, I am surprised to see that though over the raindrops though, because once he's level 6, you have to worry about dying all the time, especially with Earth Spirit in the game. And when level 6, it's usually nighttime too, so he doesn't have any vision in that area.
How's the bottom lane looking? That's one lane we haven't really talked about. Keizu is abandoned just to do his little farming with Iron Talon, but he's managed to hit 4 levels in 4 minutes. But aggressive. Not number 1, but he's not far off it in the CS. There's a lot of free space for this lifestealer, and then we start asking like timings. Like, is it still that roaming of the Earth Spirit? Do you infest into a combination? Mid 1's probably getting initiated on in a second. FY is seeing him so low. But that's deep under a tower if he goes.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's not going to be the easiest kill for him.
Not yet. Rolling boulder. Oh, he misses the target. Tries to go for the kick a little bit blind with the cold snap. Snowball's going to come in. Sunstrike. Oh, no! The shards from Puppey pushes him out of range of the Sunstrike, and now Puppey's in trouble. Freeze is standing its ground with that level 2 slave up. He's just able to bring down the Tusker.
That looks so improbable that that would happen right there.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Huh.
One too many igloo blocks.
Like the way it looked like it casted, though, it looked like almost no possible way. Like if I were Puppey right there, I'd be like flabbergasted that happened. Wow. Huh.
That was going to be a guaranteed kill for Team Secret. That would have been a big one for mid 1. Would have pushed him a lot closer to completing up his Hand of Midas.
At least mid 1 didn't die, though. He was close to just getting comboed by the Lina after the stone. But he's been playing pretty safe. I like his positioning in the lane.
And RTK's itching on the top lane with Fenrir. Pilot Eye is doing the pull, but RTK doesn't have duel just yet, but with the high movement speed, thanks to his phase boots, Fenrir let off everything he's got. Pilot Eye, the Shadow Word's giving him just enough life to potentially survive. Back onto the tier 2 tower. Pilot Eye is so low. They've come in deep for this one. And MP, what do you really do against this? You shard forward and you block in Fenrir with the walls, with MP, maybe with a stun forward. FY, the space, the stun strike from mid one. It'll be able to connect. And MP making a break for the tree line. Needs to stay hidden. RTK doesn't have anything else to really fight with yet. He doesn't have the mana for it. And Warlock will arrive again to heal up MP. Get them back into the lane.
MP's just not well suited for this lane at all with the Wolves. Like the Wolves you don't really want to put on ROTK because he's just going to proc extra attacks. But then you just let this LC just run all over you in lane. So he doesn't really have a good option as to
they're going again top lane, rolling ball forward right on top of MP. The kick is perfect. Connecting onto MP. He'll go down, +2 for Fenrir. In fact, it's up to 4 now on Pilot Eye under the tower. RTK is more than tanky enough to go in for it. In fact, it's going to be Fenrir as that silencer who picks up the double kill on the off lane.
Woof, at least Pilot Eye bought his boots. He was about to be a 0-item Warlock. Now he's a 1-item Warlock. Nice. Poor guy.
And MP's doing the other thing he can do. Jungle, jungle, jungle. But Fenrir's timing. He's coming in for the aggressive Observer and Sentry. Doesn't see in deep enough to see MP farming. But they'll know the second he comes back into the lane.
But then you're just getting ROTK as free items. Like, this is not a really good game for them to deal with the LC. Like, LC's going to be pretty farm this game. He hasn't even had any dual damage under her belt.
Nope, not yet. And Pilot Eye has been the man tasked to hold the top lane. He's got boots only. At least the movement speed is going to allow him to run a little bit faster away from the Legion.
Yeah, but in this case, like, you're not okay with the supports constantly
Rolling
dying.
Ah, it's going to miss from FY. They still want to go in deeper, and they force a TP out. Puppey will end up cancelling it. He wasn't that far away, and they know exactly what's going on. Again, that one Radiant Observer ward is seeing Puppey and MP farming in the jungle. And Freeze doesn't find his target. Looks like he's also going to go in after the double null talismans into a Yule Scepter on this Lina.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Smoke gank onto Freeze may not be exactly what they want either. Did anyone bring detection? Because he just picked up an Invis rune.
Dire's bottom tower
Yeah, I think they see that and immediately bounce. Cold Snap into Snowball should be a kill for them. ROTK trying to find any stragglers.
Did Fenrir see it? The ping's coming out. He knows the Wolves are on top, but the bounty rune got taken underneath the Observer ward. So rolling boulder over. Fenrir in the trees. Wants to get out of this one, but it won't be possible. Quick kill for MP. Now they move over to RTK. Quick press the attack. Phase Boots on cooldown for half a second. He's actually turning to try and fight this with the support of Aggressive who's rotated up. FY needs the rolling ball to kick to find the target, and MP is going to be it. The kick won't connect over on Puppey, bringing the Sigil out, slow everything down. You can, but with Laguna Blade from Freeze, the damage is enough. The Sunstrike looking for its target, but RTK, he stuck around just a little bit longer, so Sunstrike never connected, and it's Puppey trying to stay in the trees before Freeze and FY are able to connect on him. And with the Light Strike array, Puppey is locked in position and brought down.
His TP was almost up, but not quite. And it looks like Aggressive's first rotation should yield them the T1 up on top. Mid one trying to desperately respond with something in the mid lane, but they really need levels. They were able to make that dive because Warlock is not level 6. They need to find some space for him to pull, for him to jungle, maybe even share XP with some of the cores that are farming up the jungle, but his level 6 is priority. I would definitely say that he gets a tome over anyone else come 10 minutes.
Well, they were trying to give it to him on the top lane before. That's why MP went jungle.
As soon as it hits daytime, though, you can't just sit back. When it was nighttime, he can just sit in the fog just right outside of the range of the vision of the creeps and be okay. But as soon as it's daytime, he's just dead. And that's before duel. Now that he has duel, he just has no place to be up there.
Freeze is looking for his next target. Laguna Blade just comes off cooldown. Has just enough mana, but then Snowball forward. Freeze caught out. The Light Strike array connects on 3. The Sunstrike, the damage is good on Freeze, but FY can't create enough space. All he's going to do, or maybe he can. Aggressive comes in from behind. Keizu is just food to him. So it's a 1-for-1 trade off the Earth Spirit for the Centaur. As MP wants to go a little bit further out, yeah, he'll be able to escape.
Damn, FY with that. Oh my goodness.
The stuns.
Yeah.
See, this is why Tidehunter is no longer picked.
Yeah,
They just got better.
Oh man, yeah, that was pretty beautiful by FY setting that up. They didn't even lose to Lina. So I wonder what talent Freeze is going to take at level 15 now that it's actually a tough decision. I'm not even sure what he's going to take at 10.
What if he goes for the Smail?
Yeah, I mean, he'll most likely take. I usually see
bottom lane.
Right.
Pilot, it's just not his day. The duel is the first one, and we have ourselves a winner. It's ROTK. Pushes him closer towards that Blink Dagger.
Only double-digit victories,
Dire's bottom
ROTK.
tower is under attack.
Should be ashamed.
And
I think I've seen like a lot of people with like 1,000 victories. I'm like, how often do you have to
that's
play?
because ROTK
That's
don't play no
ridiculous.
pubs. Like, he doesn't care about MMR.
Well, I think like a lot of times they play like lobby games, like
Yeah.
CDEC in houses and stuff, so you don't get counters on that.
Yeah.
So that's slightly, it's not that great for him. What about leveling up the Arcanas? What if you want to unlock like the Juggernaut one? You have to play pubs, Toby, pubs, instead of in houses.
Smoke maneuver from VG.J. Freeze FY and Fenrir together. Yeah, trigger the shrine quickly, but their target is mid one. Looking towards that Invoker, so FY, a lot of pressure on him to hit that rolling boulder. Thanks to the Observe Ward they have, it's only got 3 more seconds left on it, and that's not a lot of time when mid one moves back behind the tower, so they need to plant down a fresh one. Oh no, they planted down 2 right on top of each other. It's the same as game 1, and mid one, okay, no. Stampede, let's say almost a haste rune.
He didn't stun there. I don't know if it would have been a kill with a stun anyways, but that was really, really nice by Secret dodging that gank. I think Kizu was extremely quick with that Stampede. They were probably expecting a smoke gank, but it was still pretty nice. They could have used Global if they really wanted to, but
Puppy, rolling boulder, the Wolves. Oh no, he didn't again, Puppy! Oh, come on, give this man some level of a break. Pushes himself down because the snowball doesn't take him up high ground, and then the shards actually pushing VG.J's heroes away. Mid tower will fall, open wounds, over on the centaur with the global silence. There's just no way to escape. They push themselves into this engagement without having the Stampede available. VG.J knew they had a kill.
ROTK was not scouted out by any of his reward. I think he is going to be able to.
Can he duel? Ooh. He's so close to mid one.
Ooh, that was really adventurous by him. Like he blinked up the hill knowing that there wouldn't be any vision, but then he had just to walk up for the duel. They
It's
don't
that
get a
counter
kill.
that you're worried about, right? Like you want to go on the Invoker, but Snowball's going to stop you.
Well, you just need to be able to find them, right? Like it's okay, because I think he does snowball to counter the duel, they lose 2 heroes because Freeze will just stun afterwards and both of them will die. So I think you're worried about just being able to catch them at all. Now duel's still off cooldown, and he's just not going to be able to find anyone.
Well, the panel was tossing around with what the build was going to be over on the Lycan, and the Desolator after Armlet was one of the choices. Instead, it's going to be a Mask of Madness after actually going for the Armlet.
Oh, Mask of Madness is
Lycan.
actually a pretty good choice. I guess it doesn't really help against duel, but it does help against pretty much everything else. Even like doing a lot of damage versus Lifestealer, doing Roshan. Haven't really seen too much Mask though.
FY run away. Mid one, the vision's there. The Cold Snap will connect. FY cannot escape. There is TP support coming in. It's aggressive, but still the Wolves finish the job on FY.
He's been doing a fantastic job of scouting with those wolves. I think that's actually the hardest part about playing Lycan, is scouting with the wolves all game long. It's kind of what you need to do.
They're looking for a big fight on bottom lane. You start with the upheaval. Pilot Eye has the rock, and you can see Team Secret, the second Pilot Eye hit that level 6, they want to try and fight aggressive with the Rage. He doesn't know Keizu's there, getting body blocked up a little bit. Now the Sentry Water's down, they understand it, and the charge forward. The Shards will hold aggressive down, the rock will hit. They're stunned over on 2, aggressive, able to dodge it thanks to the Infest, but cannot dodge the Cold Snap. There's Team Secret. Puppy, not a healthy man, wants to TP out. He'll actually survive. No, the duel! ROTK blinks in, takes out the captain of Team Secret, and is looking for more. It's got no more control available, however, so Team Secret will bail out.
ROTK, that was a tough call for him. Like, do you get close enough to the Lifestealer so that he can infest you and then you can blink out? Or do you wait for a better initiation so you want more dual damage, but you sacrifice your Lifestealer? That's a really hard call. And he went with the I'm not a bro route and just left aggressive, literally to the wolves.
He's a brawler, not a bro.
Yeah. He could have been both.
Kezu, rolling boulder forward. The silence is absolutely perfect, but the Fatal Bond's connected. But the 3 kick is there from FY once again. Snowball has to be used by Puppy to protect him. Sunstrike right in the mark. It's going to connect over on Freeze. FY, not a healthy man either, but Fenrir standing on the backline is doing the damage. FY, 22 HP. He can't rolling boulder away. The Wolves were there to do the damage, but now it's Puppy who's going to go down. Fenrir claiming his 4th kill of the game. He only ever does it in 2s, and Aggressive is looking for more as well. Under the tower, there's no mana. RTK can't duel. Now these Fatal Bonds up to the creep wave and getting Cold Snap down. No way for him to survive in too deep, and it's mid-1 who'll take the killing spree from him for 322 gold.
LC's actually not that far for the status that I thought she would be in. She was 3-0 and 3 up until that point, but he really only has like phase boots and blink and just hasn't been able to...
He needs to finish the blade mail.
Yeah, he really needs blade mail. He also needed more mana at that point, more so than... I mean, if he had the robe, perhaps he would have been able to cast a duel right then. But Invoker is big. Mid-1 is almost in the same place as he was net worth-wise compared to the last game where he was SF and dominated. This time he is Midas and he is Invoker. He got past the tough part of the game, which was laning versus Lina ES. And now that he almost has Scepter, he is going to be destroying them. And yeah, he kind of has to worry about Silencer, but aside from that, he really doesn't have to worry about anything. As long as Tusk is really quick with the snowballs. Like they have to blow a lot of spells to try and deal with the Tusk. Like they even got a really nice stun chain on the Tusk because he was trying to snowball the Centaur to save him, and they actually stunned the Tusk as he was coming in. But I think like later on in the fights and when he has like a Blink Dagger, like when do you actually global if you're Fenrir team?
It's in first gank time.
Yep,
The sentry was down, so even if mid-1 wants to go inside a Ghost Walk, it won't happen. And it's just Infest, jump, the duel, and mid-1, no way to survive that. Even a global silence just in case.
they expected like 3-4 Petros behind them, but
Well, mid-1 was very aggressively pushed out.
oh, yeah, oh definitely. That's because he was
It looked wrong.
He was really close to a Scepter. You know, you get that greed. You're like, oh man, I almost have it. I almost have it. I just one piece away. And then you're like, oh wait, I just delayed myself another 2 minutes. And his Midas was off cooldown, or really close to it. Sad times.
Can't Midas, can't farm. And this is all allow Aggressive to close the distance.
We haven't seen as many Midases as I would have expected too. There's only 1 in this game. 1 out of 10 heroes.
That's on the
Dire's
Invoker.
bottom tower is under attack.
Like this build from Freeze.